to all of you. I hope I'm visible. A very good evening to all of you. I am specifically making this video to keep you aware about the rules regarding travel and if you are cheated as a customer, because most of you had mentioned, some of you actually had mentioned in our comments and even had written to us on Instagram that there is a lot of confusion with respect to the travel rules of if you want to travel to a specific country, who can answer your question. Because if there is a problem, you cannot rely on the blogs that you see on the internet, or you cannot rely on piece of information. So which information can be relied upon? I will talk about that in this live. And apart from that, if you are cheated as a customer, because a lot of people have reported that they are often pressurized by airlines, that they are just told at the airport that they cannot board the flight. Their papers are sometimes in appropriate order, but still they are denied boarding. So of course, I will also discuss of what action you can take against such injustice. So without wasting any time, let's start with the video. Firstly, who has the permission to give you information on whether you can enter a country or not? That decision and that information can be only provided by the government, where at the website of their Ministry of External Affairs. So whichever country you're traveling, it could be UAE, Saudi, US, Canada, just have a look at the Ministry of External Affairs website. Every day their rule changes. Every day there's some change. Sometimes they just ban flights, sometimes they impose certain measures, sometimes they impose certain exemptions. For example, if you fall in certain categories, you are exempt from those conditions of a PCR test, vaccines. Just check, have a look at that, and then only take a decision of whether you want to go to those countries or not. If you have any doubts, you can always contact the embassies of their country. For example, if you wish to travel to Canada, have a look at the Ministry of External Affairs website of that country. And if you have any questions, write to the Canadian embassy and ask, see, I have read this information. I'm planning to travel on this date. I hope, clear your doubts. If you have their email confirmation mentioning that yes, you are allowed and you have all the required documents, no one can stop you from boarding your flight. This brings me to the next topic, whether airlines can stop you from doing so. If you have all the regulations, if you are aware of the laws, nobody can cheat you. And you can always quote the PDFs that are shared on such websites. You can show them that say these are the conditions and I fulfill these conditions. Firstly, if you have an email from that embassy, you can always show them and just tell them that yes, I'm entitled to enter. Because sometimes it is a mistake. Sometimes the officials themselves at the airlines do not know about the rules that are changing every day during this pandemic situation. That is one reason. Secondly, it could be because they want to just cheat you. They are actually getting, if they deny boarding to you, they can actually sell your seat to someone else as well. So they've taken money from you and at the last moment from some other passenger as well. So sometimes you're at the airport and you cannot do anything, and you're actually helpless in such a situation. So at that point of time, often it is possible that an airline may take advantage of that situation to make profit from you in order to recover from the losses that it had incurred during the pandemic. So I wanted to make you aware about this as well. And if you are cheated, if you are about to be cheated, always quote the rules and regulations. Make sure you let them know that the permission to enter that country lies within the immigration and the government and not the airlines. So very politely, you can make this point clear. Apart from that, you if some wrong thing happens, if they still do not allow you to board the flight, you can always later on come back and approach the district consumer forum with your case. How you can approach the consumer forum, I have made a special detailed video which I will be mentioning in the description below. So feel free to have a look at that, and which will help you understand how can you use your rights as a consumer if you are cheated. So these are a few things which I wanted to make clear to you. Always make sure that you check with the embassy and the Ministry of External Affairs. And because rules in today's day changes every day. These rules are changing every day. After 10 days, there might be a new rule. After 20 days, some other changes might happen. So don't just rely on just what you see in the internet, which says that countries have opened borders to vaccinated people. But then read, some countries have specifically mentioned that these are the vaccines which they have approved. So all these things can only be answered by the ministry or the embassy if you have any doubts or any kind of questions whatsoever. So that is how you can get the correct information by the Ministry of External Affairs website and the embassy. Any questions, write to them. And if you are cheated as a consumer, If you're about to be cheated, make sure you quote those rules, because if you know the law, nobody can cheat you. If you know the regulations, nobody can cheat you. And sometimes airlines do, there is a third reason why they push and pressurize travelers to not board the flight, is because they are scared. What if this traveler gets deported? In such a situation, you can give them an undertaking. If they still insist that cannot allow you to board because there is a chance that you might be sent back, you can always give them an undertaking saying that, see, if I get sent back, it will be my responsibility. I am aware of the law and I know I'm legally entitled. So by using this, you can always save yourself from any unnecessary pain or issues while you are traveling. So, rules and regulations with respect to travel and what to do if you are cheated, I've tried to cover in this informative live. If you have any questions, please do not feel free to contact us through the comments or our Instagram handles. I will be most happy to answer to your questions. So, once again, thank you so much for joining in this informative live, and I hope this was useful. Do take very good care of yourself, and thank you so much for watching.